I was traveling in Asia in 2007. I traveled to 6 different countries, trying to understand the impact of forced displacement on health among the displaced people. And I traveled in Syria, Pakistan, India, Nepal, and Tibet. And what I visited many refugee centers. I visited many homeless population. And what I was struck with is the amount of trafficking that was happening, whether it's drug trafficking, organ trafficking, human trafficking. And then when I came back to the US, I was talking to my colleagues and board members in Global Health Equity Foundation, a foundation that I started in 2007 in the US. And our goal is to educate about public health. And one of our first populations that we studied is the displaced populations. We did about 3-4 year studies, and that was the purpose of my trip. But during my trip, I encountered this trafficking. I kept encountering trafficking problems, and people lost their kidneys, people lost their child during displacement. And when I came back and talked to my colleagues, they said, you cannot start another topic. You stick with the public health, but you can write a fiction story about trafficking. And that's what I did. So by that time, I've done a lot of educational films, working in hospitals and working with public health, on public health topics. And I didn't know how to start actually to make fiction film. And I looked into going to film schools, and the shortest film school was about 3 months. And I was practicing medicine at the time. I couldn't really get more than 3 days off in a month. And what I did is I worked with San Francisco Film Institute, and I worked with a film teacher, film professor. Her name is Lisa Swanson, and I started just discussing the topic with her. I was like, this is what's on my mind. I can't get it off my mind. I have so many stories that I collected, and I would like to make a film. So what she did, she actually talked to her department, and she deployed a lot of her students to work with me on writing the film and getting all the departments from her school. So we worked with 45 students on making this film. And one was a department head for wardrobe, one was for art direction, one for light, one for camera. And it took me about, I would say, between 2008 and 2009, that it took us that long to write the film. And we challenged ourselves by packing 5 different stories about 5 different trafficking industries that are happening on a daily basis. And when I went back and I did the research, I found that actually this has been going on for a long time, and it's only getting worse, with more displaced people losing their shelter because they are the most vulnerable people for trafficking, whether it's genetic or organs. And the challenge that I put on the table, I was like, yeah, I really don't see that I'm gonna do a film full with text and narrative, and I just want to do a silent film. So that was another layer of complexity that I added to the film education that I kind of forced myself to go into. And we worked with a writer who is very skilled in paralanguages, and this was a new discipline that I learned also making this film. There's a whole discipline called paralanguages, which is unspoken language, and relying on movement and relying on gestures. And this is how we kind of came out with this storyline. And we decided to focus on the genetic trafficking at the time because I wanted to learn more about it, and I dived more into the research of it. And this is how Oralit, the DNA trafficker, came into life. And this film, we finished the screenplay in 2009, and it took us about a year to kind of get the departments, because we worked with the school semester, and it took us about a year to kind of get things in order to to actually find a place where I had 3 days off where we could do the film. We did the film over 3 days. The first part, the photography part, was done in 1 day. This 5 characters. We shot the still photography of the first part of the film in 1 day, and then the rest of the film was shot over the next 2 days. And these are the 3 days that I could take from my practice in the hospital, and then we edited the film over 2010. And we actually gave it, after we edited the film, we gave it to the school as a gift. We gave all the footage to the school and to the students that they can practice, and they made many versions of this film about different characters. So it was an educational tool not only for me, but also for the school of San Francisco. And this challenge also was on how to summarize 5 different characters, 5 different industries in one film that I can just kind of get it out of my head and put it on the side, and I can get back to it when I have more time to write about the other characters. So I can tell you about the character Alhafez, the antiquity trafficking. This is based on what happens actually in my country of origin. I'm originally from Damascus, Syria. And antiquities have been trafficked from Syria throughout centuries. And having the vision of what could happen in a dictatorship in Syria, I could see that, yeah, this is gonna end. And of course, the people are gonna be trafficked, and antiquities are gonna be looted. And sure enough, after the war in Syria, many people actually got displaced, and we started hearing about stories of Syrians Syrian bodies being found in Lebanon, being found along the way to Europe, being trafficked or lost their kidneys. There was, when I was living in, when I was visiting Germany one time in 2016, there was a full truck of bodies that was found in Germany of Syrians that were abducted and they were trafficked. Their kidneys were gone, and yeah, they were basically trafficked and taken, their organs taken. So it's not very difficult when you grow up in a country of disadvantage to see that, okay, this is bound to happen. And this is really was the inspiration of this this film. And living in Bonn, after seeing all the Bonn, Germany, and seeing and being part of the displaced population that escaped Syria, 1 million refugees went to Germany. I kind of focused Alhafez in Germany, and I wrote the narrative, or wrote the screenplay for Alhafez as a Syrian refugees being adopted by a German family, and now she's an antiquity authenticator. So that's a film, a screenplay that I wrote recently, and I'm slowly looking to producing this.
Last 2 minutes.
Pause here, and we'll take a couple of questions for if you guys have any question.
It's not really a question, it's more of my thoughts about this film. I love the new way that you present it. For me, it's a new way of watching this film with photography, presenting the characters, having I don't know, a guru with his mind, and thinking that this was done in 2007. So it was done like 15 years ago, and it was very new idea.
Thank you. That character is called Character 6, and he's the mastermind of what's happening. He's the node of traffickers, knowing that these trafficking industries actually do exist. They're around us. So we represented each industry by a character. So each character represented the industry over 100 years. And each character has a feature film that hopefully will transpire in the future. So I inspire everyone who encounter disadvantage population, disadvantage or injustice, to think about it and think how you can present it in a way that is not offensive necessarily, but can bring awareness. And this is actually what we did. This was also part of the part of discussion at Stony Brook Institute in New York and in Chicago. So the film is in their library, and it kind of discusses not only filmmaking, but storytelling and its impact on raising awareness. And this is what I try to do in each of my projects. So thank you guys so much. This is my vision talk.
Thank you, Tayeb.